Hey everyone, let's dive into the inputs of a management review for Clause 9.3 in ISO 9001 2015. I'm going to do two videos on this. I'm going to split the inputs in half because there's a lot. All right, so first up is previous actions. So from the previous management review, was there anything brought up that you need to track? You don't want to forget stuff. So that is there as the input to remind you, oh yeah, that's right. That came up in the last meeting. I don't want to forget to follow up on that, and I'll throw in an update on that. Next, depending on the business size, you may have a different amount of functional areas involved in your management review. So it depends on how you want to break it down. But how are they meeting, or you as a business meeting your quality policy and objectives, or not meeting it? So that input is to ensure that you're tracking your quality policy objectives. You may have one, you may have five, who knows? You as a business determines that. But you have to show how you are doing that through documentation. So you input that into your to the input. Just remember, data documentation is important to feed the review. All right, you can't just throw in, oh, doing great, meeting requirements. Okay, how? Show me. All right, next, how many audits are being conducted, internal and external? Because you may have third parties coming in and auditing your system as well as you internally. Were there any nonconformances found? Yes, no. If there were, how many, and what were they, and how did you correct them? Monitoring and measuring. So this is important depending on what a business has as a requirement. A business may have a certain requirement from a customer or client that says you're going to do X, Y, and Z 90% of the time. So you have to have a way to show you're meeting that. So you have to have a system in place to monitor requirements and measure to ensure that you're meeting that percentage. That's an example, right? Next, do you have subcontractors? Do you have vendors? Do you have suppliers? You have to keep an eye on that, because even if you pass a risk to them, you still may be liable for their actions. So you have to keep an eye on them. So this input is there to ensure that you, if you have any, are monitoring those suppliers for them meeting your requirements, so you in turn meet your customer and or client's requirements, right? So that's the first half of the inputs. I'll get into the next half in the next video, all right?